New commercial satellite images have identified more than a dozen undeclared North Korean missile operating bases in another sign that Pyongyang is continuing to move forward with its ballistic missile program amid indications that talks with the U.S. have stalled. While the network of undeclared sites has long been known to American intelligence agencies, it has not been publicly acknowledged by President Donald Trump, who asserted that North Korea was no longer a nuclear threat following his June summit with dictator Kim Jong-un. The CIA declined to comment on the images released this week, but U.S. officials have expressed concern about North Korea using hidden and undeclared locations to continue to work on improving their missile technology and possibly their nuclear program. Commercial satellite images have identified more than a dozen undeclared North Korean missile bases, in a sign the country is continuing its ballistic missile program. CSIS Digital Globe. The new images, first reported by the New York Times, show researchers at the Beyond Parallel program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies have identified 13 of an estimated 20 hidden missile operating bases unreported by the North Korean government. These missile operating bases, which can be used for all classes of ballistic missile from short-range ballistic missile (SRBM) up to and including intercontinental ballistic missile (ICBM), would presumably have to be subject to declaration, verification, and dismantlement in any final and fully verifiable denuclearization deal, the report stated. U.S. intelligence has long assessed that the North Koreans have stored much of their weapons capability, including mobile missile launchers, in underground mountain bunkers. Specifically, the images focus on the Sakon-Mol missile base, which currently houses a unit equipped with short-range ballistic missiles but could easily accommodate more capable medium-range ballistic warheads. The images suggest denuclearization negotiations with the United States have stalled in recent months, despite President Donald Trump's assertions they were going well. CSIS Digital Globe. The report comes days after Trump told reporters his administration is very happy with how it's going with North Korea, that is despite the administration's announcement, in the middle of the night, as last week's midterm elections results were coming in, that Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's meeting with a key aide to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un had been postponed. Trump has conveyed a starkly different image than the one painted by U.S. military officials, foreign diplomats and sources familiar with developments who told CNN that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is really angry about the U.S. refusal to offer sanctions relief and that personal friction between U.S. and North Korean negotiators may be slowing progress. A source familiar with the ongoing dance between officials in Washington and Pyongyang previously told CNN that North Korea's stance is that the U.S. must make a move before we make the next one. The revelations come just days after President Trump told reporters his administration is very happy with North Korean negotiations. AAP, but the U.S. appears unwilling to oblige, at the moment, according to a U.S. official, who said the Trump administration wants to move away from the tit-for-tat approach of the past. There has been a move away from past administrations' approach to North Korea in terms of we will give you a little here if you give us a little there. Kind of a tit-for-tat piece, a U.S. official told CNN. We haven't seen that work in the past, so the president is insistent on holding the full pressure campaign until he gets the full denuclearization. When asked about the new report, a State Department spokesperson implored Kim to follow through on his commitments, including complete denuclearization and the elimination of ballistic missile programs. President Trump has made clear that should Chairman Kim follow through on his commitments, including complete denuclearization and the elimination of ballistic missile programs, a much brighter future lies ahead for North Korea and its people, the spokesperson told CNN. Despite that, a planned meeting between U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and a key aide to Kim Jong-un was postponed. AAP, but experts point out that Kim has not offered to stop producing ballistic missiles, let alone unilaterally give them up, and said on New Year's Day that he would continue to mass-produce ballistic missiles and deploy those that have already been tested. Former Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel said on Monday that the images once again show that Trump's comments on North Korea have been a fabrication. The North Koreans have not signed any document laying out what steps they are going to take to denuclearize, Hagel said. There has been nothing stated, agreed to, framed, signed, except what President Trump says they've said, but now we have a whole different story, and it is the reality, it is not fantasy. Despite the messages from the White House, experts have pointed out that Kim Jong-un has never opened offered to stop producing ballistic missiles. AAP, Vipin Narang, an associate professor of political science at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology who studies nuclear proliferation, told CNN that Kim's actions do not amount to deception since he said on New Year's Day that North Korea would mass-produce and deploy its missiles that it already tested. Narang added that the images identify operating bases which, until and unless there is a deal, Kim can't eliminate without undermining his security. Asked about the State Department's response to the report, Narang called the assertion that North Korea has committed to eliminating its ballistic missile programs as misleading. There has been no agreement or discussion remotely that detailed, even on nuclear systems, and many of these are short-range conventional missiles which North Korea has never said were on the table, he told CNN. While North Korea has claimed some steps towards denuclearization have been taken, experts warn they are largely cosmetic and reversible. Jeffrey Lewis, an arms control expert at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies, told CNN that experts have known about these sites for years, and it is no surprise that they remain operational given Kim's declaration in January that North Korea would shift from research and development to the mass production of nuclear systems. Kim didn't dupe Trump. Trump duped himself, he said, in noting that North Korea has never offered to unilaterally disarm Sakon-Mol missile base is one of the facilities where North Korea deploys its mass-produced systems, he said. Still, Trump has sought to convey the image that progress continues to be made and teased a possible second summit with Kim in the near future. We're in no rush. We're in no hurry, Trump told reporters at a White House press conference last week. The sanctions are on. The missiles have stopped. The rockets have stopped. The hostages are home. The great heroes are home. While North Korea claims that it has taken some steps toward denuclearization, experts say those moves are largely cosmetic and easily reversible. Kim's regime has shuttered a missile engine testing facility, destroyed the entrances to its nuclear test site and promised to close the Yongbyon nuclear facility, where North Korea is believed to produce fissile material for nuclear weapons, if Washington takes what it calls corresponding measures. In July, Trump touted indications that North Korea had begun dismantling a key missile site after the prominent monitoring group 38 North published images showing Pyongyang had begun decommissioning its Sohae satellite launching station. But while that step attracted significant media attention at the time, Monday's report states that the dismantling of the Sohae facility obscures the military threat to U.S. forces in South Korea from this and other undeclared ballistic missile bases. With CNN, copyright 9 Digital Thai Limited 2018.